Good day and welcome. Matthew here again. We are at Nations Cup round 29 at Sardegna Race Track C, I believe. And I stole pole position in qualifying, and I am in the Toyota and away off to a flyer with Mikosi to my right in the Peugeot. So hit my marks there. Holland didn't, I guess. I guess he clipped Mikosi. Mikosi with his lag from Europe meant that he took an exaggerated punt into the gravel and took me with him. So immediately from first to, what's that, about 12th in the matter of a corner. So had it all to do from here, and it really threw up quite a different race, or quite a different race. So you see Adam heading off into the wall there. Adam's in the quite bright yellow Toyota, myself in the plain Toyota colours. We got Holland. I was just thinking of his name. I was going to call him Trolland. Tiara Holland. And wow, that was brutal. Jeebus, we'll go back and see that. So it turns out that was little fella, and we're just on board with him now. He takes it wide. We've got Simonized running. Simonized Black Manta's running wide, and he just gives him no room. The crunch. Oh man, that was brutal. Sorry, I'm composed. Right. So little fella not giving Mantis any room whatsoever, and he gets crunched into the pit wall, which is probably always a danger. Oh, that was good. Right. Like, you don't like to see it, but that was pretty funny. Right, on with the race. I'll jump back to the start and we'll check the start again, just to see what happened from other cars' perspectives. So on board with Hollow, you see Mikosi get a heck of a jump off the start there, and Holland didn't. Adam's right beside him in fifth. I'm guessing Holland just missed his braking point. See, he should have just slipped down the side of Mikosi, but Mikosi with his lag, I guess the game doesn't quite know where he is. He gets a punt and goes flying off and took me with him. So quite unfortunate. That wouldn't have happened if everybody was in Australia and New Zealand, but it is what it is. Adam running wide there. Gets pushed into the wall. Oh, it's pretty much chaos, isn't it? I got cleaned out by Art Lane behind, and Holland gets a 10-second penalty. Far out. He largely didn't do anything there, and he got a massive old penalty. Oh, I guess he got a 5-second penalty from earlier. So 5 seconds, yeah. Okay, unfortunate with the lag, fair enough, but to cop another 5 seconds in the middle of all that, that's rough. And that really changed the face of the race. So we've got Nick, Art Noble, and Weapon vying for the top 3 positions. In fact, the top 6 look very close at this stage. Just one more look before we move on. Noble was the big winner out of all this, so I just wanted to see his perspective. Circles looks to get a great run off the start. Adam was pretty solid too. And Noble just tucks in behind the forward of Holland. I guess he lifts off, brakes a bit earlier, which is quite sensible, and just sees the seas part before him. And he's off and away. Beautiful. Right place, right time. So back on board with me now. Just after the incident, I recovered back to 12th. 13th is on my left, so I just ease off and let him go by. I do have rear tyre and wing damage, so the car's not feeling the best right now. I just got to wait for it to disappear, so I was just taking it easy down here, and you just watch the carnage ahead as 4 cars try to fit into the space of 1. And I'm just trying to pick my way through and pick my battles and not damage the tyres and not slide the tyres. Just take it easy. Get on the power when I can, get the grip down progressively, not to burn the front tyres especially. And now I'm side by side with 9th place, who was actually 13th a few corners ago. So we made up a few places pretty quick through the carnage. And after all this, I was only about 4 seconds behind first place, so still had it all to play for. Holland is about to take his penalty up ahead, same with a few other drivers that got them, so that means I got a bit closer to everybody else. That's Holland there, who I drove through. I was kind of put off by the coast, sitting in the middle of the road, so I slowed down more than I had to, but no harm with that one, and we'll charge on. So lap 7, I'd spent a few laps catching up to these guys. First of all was Lane and John, who are having their own battle, and I believe it's RRS 180, who slowly fell back and made it I guess a four-way with all of us here. And this is what really cost me getting up ahead earlier. Lane puts me into the wall there. I don't believe he saw me sneak up the outside of him. It was all a bit of carnage trying to watch 180 up ahead, as he was burning his tyres pretty hard. And he's sliding, and you can see him sliding there, and we're only halfway, not even halfway through the race at this point. So he was in a lot of trouble really, and he was always going to fall back, but he was holding all of us up in the meantime. So a lap later, and back into turn 1, they get side by side. I try to take advantage of this situation and go up the inside of all three of them into turn 2. I brake a bit early. I'm still trying to save my tyres. I'm not being too aggressive, because it's ultimately keeping the tyres alive at the end of the race, which is going to count for a lot. I was lucky here, sliding past Lane. He didn't bang into the wall and gift me a penalty. Adam had come up from 3 seconds behind and gave me a little tap to push me past. I don't think it was deliberate, I think it was accident. And then I'm kind of find myself in between these two, and then Adam right on my tail. So Hera was trying to get past them, and they both peel off into the pits halfway through the race. And I got Adam right in my draft, and the draft is weak on this, so it's quite effective from a long way back. I brake early. I'm braking about 50 meters earlier than everybody else, just to save the tyres. And if I jump forward to Adam, you'll see, not bad, but it does, I guess it scales up. Well, what's the word? I can't even think of the word. But compounding interest or something. You know, it's only a small amount now, but in 5 laps time, it's going to be significantly more than my tyre wear. So I was lifting off 50 meters earlier for the braking zone and just easing in there. And you see me, if you watch the braking, my braking, you'll see me ease onto the brakes before I really stamp on them to slow it down for the corner. And this was my goal I had all along, was to maintain a decent race pace, 57s and 58s, for as long as I can. 58s can be done through the whole race, no problem at all, to keep the tyres in check. And being behind a fast guy like this, I did let Adam go the previous lap. I didn't even mean to be up the inside of him here. This was kind of accidental, I found myself there. But being behind Adam meant I could save tyres while being in his draft, because the draft is set to weak, it's so effective. Ironic, I know, but that's the way it is. Because the draft is set to weak, it's very effective, so you can just hang back from a fast guy. They can drag you up to the next crowd, but unfortunately, he went wide at turn 2. Well, it's turn 4, isn't it? But went wide, got dirt on his tyres, and when you get dirt on your tyres like that, even for a moment, going downhill, it's very, very sharp single line. Sharp single line? I'm not even sure what I'm saying. There's one line through the downhill section. You only take it one way. And as soon as you get off, you compromise the next corner, and you've cost yourself a second easy. And so with the dirt on his tyres, he slid through the right-hander, left-hander, didn't have the line for the right-hander, and fell off the track. Holland takes a pit on lap 10. So that left Adam with nowhere to go in terms of draft, and he had to use his tyres that are wearing faster than mine to catch back up to me to chase me down. And at this stage, because I was held up so much in the fight earlier, I think I'm sitting about 7 or 8 seconds, 7 seconds behind Noble in first, and Bradley in second is burning his tyres a lot faster than I am, and so he's slowly coming back towards me. So we rejoin lap 15. I had caught Bradley in second, who was seriously suffering with his front tyres. Adam had caught back up to me and had dragged Mikosi along with him. So this is effectively a four-way fight for second place at this stage. My thoughts were, because Bradley is so slow at this stage and you just see him holding me up and I'm holding Adam up, that if I could get past him going into turn 1 or turn 2, then he's going to hold Adam and Mikosi up behind, and I should be able to make enough of a break to finish in second place. Adam, I guess fortunately for me, taps that wall on the way downhill and gives me a bit of a breather. I take the outside line to turn into the inside line for Bradley at the last corner and try to get past him down the straight into turn 1, because I knew he can't brake as late as I can with his tyres the way they are, and so I knew I'd have the advantage going down here. He did get a better drive than me, so I tuck back into his draft, pull out going into turn 1, and he tries to defend. Can't do much with the tyres in the state they're in, and I take second place off him. Only just. Still fighting on the way down to turn 4, but Adam is stuck behind him and stays behind him through here, which was probably the most important thing for my position and keeping second place. Because you just see me start to make a bit of a gap, like almost immediately out of turn 2, and that got really messy back there. Wow, I did not know that happened, so I'm going to jump back and have a look, because I thought Bradley was just holding them all up, and it was just then down to him being slow and preventing them from catching me, but it looks like something quite big happened. Jumping on board with Mikosi, who's sitting right behind Adam, and I think it's a mistake from Adam going over this crest, gets it a bit wide, and then you get 1, 2, 3 punts in a very quick succession. So Mikosi bounces off Adam, Nick 1100, I guess, hit him, and then the game and the latency all sort of catch up and things start getting a bit messy, and the game thinks the game thinks that you hit the other car a lot harder, and it just turned into a bit of a mess back there. So a mistake by Adam on the second last lap really put paid to any decent result he was going to have. It's a bit of a shame because he'd had quite a fight back after that first lap. So that was it. Jumping onto the final lap now, I grabbed second place as you saw in the previous lap, and I cannot catch Noble. Noble is 8 seconds up the road. Took advantage after that turn 1 chaos on lap 1 and never looked back. Held onto his tyres nicely. Really good management from him and a well-deserved win. And I came back from 12th or 13th to take second, so pretty happy with that result overall. Pretty happy. Really unexpected. Really good to get pole. Bit of a cheeky draft from Holland early on, and snatched pole in the last minutes of qualifying and turn it into a second place after a bit of chaos. So that was the race. Bit of a laugh, a lot of fun. Actually a lot of fun with the Group B cars on the Sport Softs. First time doing them at the FIA. Actually first time really having a competitive race with this sort of combo. So yeah, unexpected, but a lot of fun, and look forward to doing it again. I think it kind of worked with this track combo, a very tight and twisty track with a lot of sort of one lane, sort of one car wide sections. So you could funnel out. There were some overtaking opportunities, but you also had to have your wits about you and drive a really nice consistent race in the car. So it was quite a challenge, and I picked up early on that in practice, seeing how bad the tyres were, and I figured if I just stuck to a certain lap time, 57s or 58s, you could run 56s in it for a few laps, but you just kill your tyres too fast. So it was just running a consistent pace, and sticking to that would prove its worth, would get me back up the field, would get me into first or into the top 3. I never expect to win, but certainly I had high hopes. Top 3 finish, and second after what happened, I think it proved my theory and my strategy right. You can think of all these things and do them in practice, and when you've got no pressure and no other cars around you, you've got all the time in the world, and you can do some great laps and put some great races together. But actually when it comes down to crunch time, doing it in the moment, it's easier said than done, and often doesn't work out, so it's nice when it does. So I hope you enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed actually doing the race. If you did, give us a like, and I was going to say thumbs up. Like's the same thing, isn't it? Or subscribe, share the video with your friends and family. If you want to see the races live, come catch me on Twitch. The link is in the description below. But thank you for coming along and watching. Until next time, bye bye.